In our first reading, we hear about Moses and the battle the Israelites have with Amalek. And Moses tells Joshua to go out and fight them, and that he would intercede for them by holding his hands up. As long as Moses was holding his hands up, the Israelites were winning. But he got tired. He became weary. It was hard. So people had to come to help him hold his hands up so they could win the battle. That story is about prayer. It connects to our gospel directly. We need to help each other with our prayer. The judge in the gospel was certainly corrupt, did not fear God nor anyone else. This was actually common in that time. This was not a Jewish judge. This would have been someone appointed either by Herod or by the Romans. They were magistrates. And they usually took bribes and favored people with resources that they gave to them. So for the people hearing this parable, that would have not been unusual. What would have been unusual was the widow. You see, the name widow actually means in Greek one without a voice. A person whom no one hears or sees. The judge is so afraid of her and renders the decision because he's afraid she will strike him. Now the word strike, actually, the direct translation is to be given a black eye. And he would be given a black eye in public. He would be shamed in public by her continual insistence. She's unusual. She's persistent. She does not give up. There's a story about Mother Teresa. Years ago, Mother Teresa went to visit a very wealthy man to get money for an AIDS hospice and clinic. His name was Edward Bennett Williams. He was a wealthy attorney. He had many famous clients. At one time, he owned the Washington Redskins and the Baltimore Orioles. He was a powerful man, yet he worried about seeing Mother Teresa. In fact, he had his partner stay with him in the room and told his partner before he came, "I'm going to be meeting with a living saint, and I need your help. I know she wants me to get money for her for this AIDS hospice, and I really don't believe in it, so I'm going to need your help to say no." So, Mother Teresa comes, and she gives the story. After the story about the hospice and about the needs of the people, Edward Bennett Williams speaks to her and says, "Thank you. We believe in this cause, but at this time we really don't feel that we should be supporting this." So our answer is no. Without missing a beat, very humbly and gently, Mother Teresa said, "Let us pray." They all bowed their heads and prayed. When she was done praying, she began her speech all over again, word for word. At the end of the speech, the judge thanked her once again and said, "Listen, Mother Teresa, we really can't do this. We're committed in other places. We don't believe in this." So the answer is no. Mother Teresa said, "Let us pray." Edward Bennett Williams threw up his arms and says, "Okay, where's my checkbook?" Now, it may seem like Mother Teresa did this on her own. The truth is, One of the things Mother Teresa had done was set up something called prayer partners. People who would pray for her ministry, pray for what happens with it. So she had a lot of people praying for her for this meeting. She did not go in alone. She had people holding her arms up as she went through it. Just like Moses had his arms held up. Years ago, there was a young family who had a child. The child was born with a severe heart defect. This child had to need surgery immediately after being born, and then again several times in her life. At 6 months old, a major surgery was done on her heart, and while doing so, she was clinically dead twice, but brought back. She became legally blind from that, and the doctors held out very little hope for her, believing that she would only live to 10 or 12 years old. But the family, during this entire time, let their faith community know they needed their prayer. And their faith community members contacted other people. And there was a wide network of prayer praying for this family. And the family felt themselves being lifted up. Their arms were being held when they were weary from all the prayer people were doing. The little girl's name was Kaylee, my daughter. She will be 34 next month. I'm here to tell you, prayer works. We don't know all the time the results of our prayer, but we never, ever need to give up. I know that from personal experience. Many of you do too. Prayer is not asking God for what we want. It's beating with the heart of God for those who are in need among us. The last question in the parable that Jesus asked, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? I've spoken many times before that faith is a verb, it's not a noun. We can have a quantity of faith and never use it. Faith unused is not faith. Faith requires us stepping into it, praying for others, caring for others, touching them beyond our understanding. Will the Son of Man find faith on earth when he comes? As long as we keep praying, he will. We have many people to pray for. Take a bulletin home. Many people in that bulletin have asked us to pray for them. Put it on your refrigerator every time you see that. Pray for these people. Let them know that you are helping to hold their arms up in a difficult time.